Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, Motivational, back with another day trade inspired recap. Real quick, as always, I want to say thank you all for all likes, comments, subscribe. Thank you everyone sticking with me through the journey. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And let's get straight into it, okay? So today we're gonna be going over. I had two trades on the day, and we ended the day in red, big red, way bigger than what I want. Um, and I'm gonna go over that. But we have our two trades that we had today. I'm gonna go over the earnings as well as the economic data that we had come out today, as well as what we have coming out tomorrow. And let's get straight into it. Okay, so um, coming into today, yesterday I told you guys that we didn't have no economic data, but we actually did. We had Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking hour before the market opened. I actually didn't see that. I think I read through this too fast, and I did not see that was coming in the morning. But I knew ahead of it coming this morning, but yesterday I was not aware of it. Real quick, let me see tomorrow economic data we have. We're gonna have 30-year mortgage rate, mortgage applications, market index, refinance index. We all know that might be pretty bad because home sales and stuff have been pretty bad. Existing home sales month on month, existing home sales, crude oil, imports change. So we have a lot of data tomorrow that's going to be pretty important with gas, home sales, mortgage rates. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty big day with economic data. Today we had really no earnings, but tomorrow we're going to have Tesla, Google earnings. But we'll go more over that. Let's get straight into the trade. Okay, so today what was I looking at? Today I overthought my trade, my first trade, way too hard. Why? Because it should have been, and I know I say this a lot, guys, but this should have been about a $300-400 day, and instead I'm down over $300 on the day. I'm down over $300 on the day, as well on the week now. On a day like this is what is like killing me and very annoying is because all of these days I've been showing up to the market. I've had very big moves, and I've been on the right side of them, but I close my trade too early. I get out for some reason. I get scared out, and then I take a trade that's late onto the trade, and then I get stopped out for big money. And that's exactly what's happened all of last week, honestly, and that's what happened today again. And so I'm getting to the breakdown of that, and what I'm gonna do is, because it's my strategy, right? I'm gonna get into it. Let me go over my first trade real quick. So my first trade of the day, what was I looking at? Okay, well, we have these equal highs up here is what I was looking at. We have the equal highs right here, right? As well as this is like a little other level, right? I don't really know how to call this, a little pullback and then a breakdown, right? So this is another level right here. What I wanted to see is if we were going to pump to this level, and then I would want a fair value gap, and I was going to target these equal highs. If not, I want to see us fall, because we ended right here creating an equal low. I want us to fall through this equal low, pull back, give me a fair value gap, and I'm in it for these levels right here. What did I see? Well, how did I overthink it? I had a level in here. Why? Because this is like the middle of this 5-minute candle, as well as you scale down to your 1 minute, right? This is kind of like the bottom of all of this. I mean, the top of all of, the bottom of all of that, sorry. So overthought it. That's not even really any kind of level. Yes, but it's not a fair value gap. It's just one candle. You know what I'm saying? Usually the 50% of a fair value gap, you would mark out a level, but this isn't really a level, and that's where I messed myself up. Why? Because that is exactly where I got out. So I got in. Where did I get in at? So we broke through these equal lows, right? We broke through them strong and hard, nice, right? Pull back 5 minute into the 50% of this candle, as well as if I scale down to my 1 minute, I had such a good entry. I got in literally right around here. With my stop loss on the top, came back to the highest 1 minute fair value gap, as well as testing the bottom of these equal lows. Making them some kind of a resistance. Sorry, I can't speak. Testing these equal lows and using them as a resistance. Through that resistance, there was also a 1 minute fair value gap. This is the highest 1 minute fair value gap. It's honestly the only 1 minute fair value gap. It's the 5 minute candle. everything I want to see. I have my stop loss on top of the order block, on top of all of this. I got in right here. What was I aiming for? I was aiming for that level right here. I was aiming for this level in the middle right here, as well as right here. And I knew if we fell through this support, right, because I had all of this marked out, I knew if we fell through this support, we were going to come for these lows right here. And that's where I overthought it. Why did I overthink it? Because I'll keep overthinking it. Like, there's really no other way. I really don't know. I just keep overthinking it. And I had a level marked here for some reason, which is not even a level. And what did I do? I closed my trade way too early when I got in up here, right? Broke down my way, and I called the trade when this started waking up. Why? I don't know, because it's pretty easy to know. If it's breaking down, there is nothing for this to step on. It's going to break down and come for the equal lows. And down here, I made 156 bucks. From 563 down to 562, about a good dollar 30 cent move. Imagine if I would have had another 562 to 558 or 559, another $3 move on top of that. You see what I'm saying? So you see how I'm telling you guys how I'm missing these big moves because overthinking, messing up, not following my rules, and just straight up just messing up because there was no reason for me to call this trade. So in this winning trade, I made 159 bucks. If I would have stayed through all of this, which I should have because there was no reason for me to get out, I would have been up over 400, 500, maybe 600 bucks off 3 contracts. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where I'm getting frustrated because I know I can trade. I know how to mark out my levels. But I'm shooting myself in the foot and I keep setting myself back. But I know we're going to bounce back from it, and this makes us even more confident, and that's where you guys have to see it. So you're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have weeks where you just mess up. But if you're seeing where you're going wrong and you know your strategy is working, but you're just messing it up, that should give you even more confidence. And that's where I'm at because on this trade, that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? That hurt me because, I walked away with 159 bucks, but there was no reason for me to close it. I knew what it was going to do. And it did exactly everything I wanted to in the first, literally, from 8:30 down to 8:50. The first 20 minutes of the market, I made, literally, the first 10 minutes of the market, I made 159 bucks. But if I would have stayed in the full move, I could have made about 500-600 bucks in 20 minutes. You see what I'm saying? And so that hurts me, but I'm learning from it. And I know where I messed up, okay? So that was the first trade. That's exactly everything I was looking for. I was like, okay, we put equal lows. We have this 5-minute fair value gap. I want to see if we run through it. On the 1 minute, we didn't have nothing there, so I was expecting us to run through it. But then I had a level marked in the middle of this 5-minute candle as well as in the 1 minute. It's just one candle in the middle of it, like if it's a fair value gap, which just wasn't smart. And that's where, when we had this wick right here, I started to think, oh, okay, that's because that's level. No, that's not no level right there. Yes, we came down and wicked the bottom of this, but this is nothing to stand on. You see what I'm saying? This move upwards, it's a straight line up. There's nothing for it to stand on. Things like this is where I got stopped out on a move with this. See how this is an actual stair for us to move upwards. This is just a straight line up. You see what I'm saying? So this has something to stand on. You see what I'm saying? So we have up and a pullback. This doesn't have no pullback, a straight line up, so you can run through that because there's no power in there. You see what I'm saying? This one has a stair on it for you to boost up. Think of it kind of like a launch pad if you play Fortnite. This, you ran up, came back down, put that launch pad right there, boom, bounced up. This one, you just ran up. You didn't have nowhere down to put the launch pad, so whenever you start falling, you don't have nowhere to bounce. You see what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying? When you run up and you're falling, you set that launch pad, you bounce up. You ran up, we didn't set no launch pad, and we got ran through. Had a range right here, broke through the range, broke through these equal lows, and it was just it's such a beautiful move. It's literally so beautiful, and it's just maddening that I missed out on that, okay? So we're going to learn from it. We're going to do better. Second trade was a bad trade. Second trade, it was a bad trade, not because it just doesn't follow my rules, but because we lost 417 bucks on it. I wish I could tell you guys why so much of it. That was 91% of my contract. It was kind of like if I just let the whole contract expire. Why it lost value so much, I couldn't tell you why. That's what was so frustrating is because I was up over 200 bucks. I was up over 200 bucks on these contracts, and it came all the way up against me. And I had my stop loss. It was somewhere around here. I moved this. It was somewhere around here. I can go down exactly to it. Where did I have my stop loss? First, let me show you where I got in at. So, you see how we broke through all of this, right? We broke through all of this range. That's where I had a level at. And I was like, okay, we broke through that range. That is a level. We can use that level as a resistance, right? That is exactly what it looked like to me. And that's exactly where I got in at. When we bounced, we came up, touched the fair value gap. The fair value gap that used this level as resistance, I got it right here. Yes, since we're so far down, like since we have all these gaps, right? If we go to the 5 minute, right? And as you guys know, we want the highest fair value gap possible, right? So it would be this one. That would be the highest fair value gap possible, right? Or if you want, you could say this right here. There's a little fair value gap, right? But if we scale down to the 1 minute, as well as we broke through all those levels, right? So in this one, we do have a nice fair value gap, right? But what I was thinking is, and what happens a lot of times is you will use that level that you broke through. You won't pull all the way back. So if there's a fair value gap up here like it does, it won't pull all the way back. Why? Because there's levels right here that you broke through. So it would use those as resistance, or if you broke through them, you would come down and use them as support. You won't always come up and fill these fair value gaps. You see what I'm saying? You'll fill the fair value gap that's closest to that level. So that's exactly what I was thinking. I got in right around here. It dropped down, and it was 560 all the way down to 568.64, $1.20 move. So I was up over 200, well, about 185 bucks. When I seen it, it was 195, about 190 bucks. And what was I looking for? I wanted us to at least break through here. And what was I thinking? If we break through this stair right here, all of this is trend. So I was thinking, if we break through this stair, it is falling, like it could collapse. And that was kind of gullible on me. Why? Because think of it, and this is where I'm gonna start getting better, because I've been doing this a lot, where I would get out early into my move, or I would miss the first move. A lot of times I get these first moves that happen. A lot of times, or not even a lot of times, lately, which we could say a lot of times, because lately I messed up. I called my trade early for no reason. I've had a wrong level, like I had a wrong level. Got scared out because remember, whenever I thought it was gonna wake me out, I was looking at my broker when I should have been looking at the screen. I called my trade way too early and had that huge big drop. And I'm getting these big drops or these big pumps, but I'm not able to stay in them. One, I closed it on accident. Closed my trade on accident. Another one, like today, wrong levels marked out, and just not being fully locked in. Just not being fully locked in, because I should know that there's nothing for this to stand on, that it should fall through, right? Just messing up. I'm not even gonna make no excuse. Just messing up and shooting myself in the foot, and that is what is annoying. But that is what also gives me confidence, again, because I know my strategy works. I see it play out. I know I'm in the move, and I know everything it should do, and it does it, and it takes off without me, because I'll close the trade on early, and when I go over it, I'm just like, dude, Devin, like, you're missing out on all of this action, like all of this. I want to focus on the process, but what do we do this for? We do this for money. And it's like, Devin, you're missing out on all this money because you keep shooting yourself in the foot. You're not being patient. You're not thinking enough, or sometimes you're thinking too much, right? And so this is where I'm going with this trade is I wasn't thinking enough. Why? Because it's not going to be a straight line down. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, if it breaks this stair, it's pretty much in free fall all the way down past this 555. But think of it, we already fell from 564 down to 558. So are we gonna fall 11 or $9? That is crazy. It can happen, but that is kind of crazy for us to just fall, give me this one little pullback I thought we were gonna get, and then just fall. That is kind of unrealistic, right? And it's like, okay, yes, it does follow my strategy. And to be honest, this is the highest 5 minute fair value gap, and if I scale my 1 minute, I have the 1 minute fair value gap. But like I told you guys, we broke through these levels, so I was thinking, okay, these levels can be used as resistance. As you see, there were previous support, and that happens. And so this was my strategy, but I have to think more. Like, okay, we already had this huge big move. Do I think we're gonna get a pullback and then fall another $3-4? That's, you gotta weigh it out, and maybe if you are, go with less risk, right? Because I had to have my stop loss pretty wide, right? Because I had it at this resistance, right? If I go to my 1 minute, where did I have my stop? I had my stop on top of this order block that pushed it all the way down. So I was in the trade forever until it actually came up and stopped me out, and that was minus 400 bucks. Why? Honestly, I was getting paid a lot for these contracts because, like I said, I was down here. I was up 200 bucks, 185 bucks, for $1.20 move. Down here, I made from 563 down to 562, about $1.30 move. Made 156 bucks on that one. Was up over 185 right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they were paying a lot, and then they were taking a lot, and also they were taking a lot, and it was probably because I was probably in the money plays as well, and then as well as I was in the trade so long, so also your contract expires, and so that's so today I lost over 300 bucks. I lost 400 bucks in one trade, wiping away. So I was up 285 bucks on a week. I lost 400 bucks on this trade. So now I'm minus 130 bucks on a week. And that absolutely sucks. Why? Because last week I had a very bad week, minus 400. This week I was having a good week. We were marching it back. Like today morning, I had a very good trade to start the morning. First 10 minutes, 156 bucks. Add into that 126 bucks I made yesterday. I called my trade early, but I do have 156 bucks in my pocket. But I was still a little frustrated that I closed my trade early. You see what I'm saying? But I took another trade, another 3 contracts, and was it worth the risk? Hindsight, it was not worth the risk. Hindsight's 2020. But if we think about it again, like everything I went over, it's like it's not gonna break through every level. Yes, this is my strategy, but not every single level is going to get broken through, right? Because again, I'm supply and demand, and I want to target these levels, target liquidity. But if we were gonna go through every level, like we fell through all these levels that I had marked, now we had another level. If I'm targeting this level, it's like, okay, it falls to this. Like I said, it should be in free fall all the way down to 555. And then once it falls through there, what is going to aim for 551? It's like, no, the market is not going to fly through every level downwards and on a pump fly through every level upwards. And that's where I'm getting to myself. It's like, okay, Devin, yes, that's your strategy, but the market is not going to take out every single level, or we would be pumping forever and dumping forever. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, again, I keep getting caught on these last supports. These support and resistance traders been eating me up because I would hop in at this pullback and think we're going to take it down. But no, we already did all of this huge move through all of these levels. You see what I'm saying? Or on the pump, we already ran through all of these levels. You see what I'm saying? Or on this dump, I think I targeted these down here. We already ran through all of this level, right? We ran through all of this, right? And these are a bunch of equal lows added up. So it's like, you can't really blame me for taking a trade downside on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. I still think we're going to aim for these eventually. But that's just what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going over to myself. It's like, we're not going to run through every level. So yes, take the trades at first to go through levels. But then after a big move like this goes down, after a $3, $4, $5 move, do you think the market is just going to take out level? You see what I'm saying? So that's where I'm getting to myself, is to be smarter about my trades as well. I was up 156 bucks. Maybe put less risk on the table so I do not give everything back. You know what I'm saying? Because that was bad. One trade wiped away the whole week. Right? And like I said, it wiped 91% of my contract. That was not the goal. I followed my stop loss. I got in, if you look at it, 559. My stop loss was at 561. It's really 560 because it's 559.98, 560. But my stop loss is at 561.75. So stop loss is $1.75 wide. That is a wide stop loss. You know what I'm saying? To lose a lot of money, and I did lose a lot of money. But again, 91% of my contract is kind of crazy. That is a lot of percent of my contract just wiped away, and it's not like it went up like $3-4 against me. You know, so like I'm saying, I mean, theta, I think I had in the money contracts, which was also eating it up when it was going against me. But I still think that is kind of crazy how $400, how 91% of my contract was getting wiped away. But we're gonna make it back tomorrow, right? Because I'm gonna delete these levels, but I am gonna mark out new levels. Of course, we have to mark out the new levels. Um, Actually, let me mark them out right now for you guys. So what am I seeing tomorrow? What am I seeing tomorrow? How am I gonna make this money back tomorrow? How I'm down 130 bucks on the week. I'm down 400 bucks last week. How am I gonna make this back? Because I'm gonna make all of this money back. Believe it, guys. Believe it. Because I'm telling you guys. You guys, I know you guys can see that I know how to trade. That I can call these moves. I can get in these trades. But I shoot myself in the foot, and that's often the biggest thing in trading. A lot of people know their strategy. A lot of people know how the market's supposed to move, but they revenge trade. They over leverage because not every trade's gonna be a winner, and that loser that they take is over leveraged, so they're gonna lose big, wipe their account. They revenge trade, they FOMO, or they don't follow their plan, and I've been through all of that, and you guys have seen me on camera go through all of that, as well as off camera. I was going through that a lot when I first started. You know what I'm saying? And so that's all it is. That's the biggest thing, is not shooting yourself in the foot and not taking yourself out of the game, okay? With a big loss like that, I shouldn't have took a big loss like that. Yeah, that's still a little frustrating how that 91% of my contract is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So let's mark out these levels real quick. Oh my god, we're getting all these ugly numbers. So I have these highs up here, right? I have these equal lows that I'm looking at. I have these equal lows I'm looking at, as well as I'm gonna have these same levels marked down here. Bam. I'm gonna have this same level marked down here, because like I said, I mean, those, we created equal lows, and like I said, if we break those, we could be flying through these, and I would be happy for those. Tomorrow we're gonna have all of this resistance lined up, which we actually like, looking pretty good. Can I get a nice number, man? Okay, right there, that's a good one. Why is that a good one, even though it's not right on it? Well, if you see, that's the top of this candle. If it breaks through, it could touch that order block, so that's why I'd have this order block marked out. Yep. And what do I want to see? If tomorrow we want to pump up, I want to see us also pump through this order block. If we pump up through this order block, then give us a pullback, I'm aiming towards the equal highs. That is easy. And you guys are going to see it tomorrow when I capitalize off this. So please keep in mind what I'm saying tomorrow, because I will capitalize off this. If we pump up past these highs right here, right? I want to see it break above this order block, because this is a 5-minute order block that broke structure straight to the downside. I want to see it break up past this order block, not a wick. I want to see it break up, give us a pullback to a fair value gap, 5-minute candle, or a 5-minute fair value gap, and then I'm towards these equal highs. If we want to break down, what am I looking at? Okay, well, I want to actually see this level broken, right? I actually want to see this level right here. Okay, you guys know I got to get a beautiful number. I want to see this broken down. Why? Because these is like our high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Well, it kind of capped out, didn't really make a higher high. So this is supposed to be our higher low. If we break this higher low, then I'm aiming for these lows, these equal lows down here, as well as all of this. Okay, so that's easy levels marked out, and we are going to capitalize on it tomorrow. Believe it. Okay, so SPY, let's see what SPY is doing. We didn't trade SPY today. SPY honestly probably has some cleaner setups today. Let me see. Oh yeah, so we had these equal highs right here up with SPY. Again, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high. So we break this higher low. If we break this higher low, I know we're aiming for these down here, right? Because look at that, balance range on the bottom, equal lows on the bottom, and then this right here is going to be a good example of what I'm talking about today, where if we break through here and we create a wick down here, this is a stair, this is a launch pad right here, right? We climbed up, but then we got sold back down, we put that launch pad, and boom, shot up. So I can't be thinking if we break through all of this, break through all, you see what I'm saying? If we start off right around here and we break through all of this trend, break through these equal lows, I can't expect us to break through this level, because we break through that level, we're pretty much falling all the way down to the 622.80 level, right? So again, I'm just telling you guys what I'm thinking. Like how today and how a lot of days I get caught up on this level, not wanting to break through. Tomorrow, if we do have a trend down, if we break through all these levels, I'm going to be cautious on taking a trade to break through this level right here, this 624.95 level. Why? Because this has a launch pad upwards, right? All of this is easy downwards liquidity, right? Equal lows, you see all of these lows, but this is the launch pad that shot up, right? So these are the ones that could get us caught up, thinking that we're going to break through this level, and it actually just shoot us up and range us for the rest of the day, okay? So what am I looking for to the upside? What I'm looking for to the upside was if we break through this higher and we make a higher high, there's really no gap right here. If we break through this higher high, if we break through this level right here, we're making a higher high. This would be our higher low. Or maybe if we come down a little bit and then shoot up, don't break this level, then shoot up, make a higher high, I will want to see a pullback, and then I would be targeting the equal lows. Honestly, tomorrow I might be trading SPY, because the levels on SPY actually look very clean. Because like I said, it's right here. If we break through, I know we want to come up to 631.50. So once we break the 629 level, break it upwards with a nice candle, I know we want to head to the 631.50. So that'd be about a $1.50 move. You know what I'm saying? That's easy to gain. But on this one, QQQ is not a bad one either, but I have to wait for it to break this order block. And then, oh yeah, 566. So it'd still be a nice big move. So we're ready either way. So you guys see how I have these levels marked out. If it wants to go up, I'm going to go up. If it wants to go down, I'm going to go down. The only reason I lose these trades is because I do the late move, I'll play the late move, and then I'm not letting my winner run, all right? But I promise you guys, we're going to get better, and I promise you guys, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, guys. I promise you these. You guys see me lose $400, see me lose $300, $200, see me lose. I promise you guys, all of this is worth it. All of it is going to pay off, and you guys are going to start seeing some big wins soon. You guys have seen me when I was on this high about 2 weeks ago, and I was on the high. My account was high. You know, my account was feeling good. I was feeling good, and I shot myself back down because I'm just messing up. But these mess ups are to fix me up, to wire me up better, and to put me up higher than I already was. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go over what earnings we have tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna have Tesla and Google earnings. They're actually gonna come out after market close. Tesla earnings is projected to be negative. Google, I projected to be a little negative. The first one shows green, red, but most likely Google usually always comes out relatively good on earnings. Tesla usually never comes out good on earnings, but we all know it's going to be projected on forward guidance. A little bit of the growth of these earnings will be held, like, accountable to the stock, but we know Wall Street likes to see it in advance. They want to see future. What do you have in the future? What is your future growth? Okay, you didn't meet earnings today, this month, this quarter. What do you have next quarter? What are your estimates for next quarter? You see what I'm saying? So they're all about forward guidance, because we're investing for the future, not for the past. You see what I'm saying? So if Tesla does come out bad growth, we could have a little bit of a dip. But at the same time, last quarter, when we seen Tesla had bad earnings, they actually shot up because they had good forward guidance. And I feel like they will have good forward guidance this time, again, because they had the robo taxis out. And as well, I feel like they will pump that up to us, saying that more robo taxis are going to be coming out. And I believe more robo taxis are going to be coming out. And I believe there is a big future in Tesla, as well as Google. Google's just a good company. They're in quantum computing. It's Google. They're in the AI heavy. Google is Google, and Google is here for the long run. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they'll both kill it. Tesla, I already know their earnings isn't going to be good. mark it on your word. Earnings is not going to be good, but also Wall Street is not expecting their earnings to be good. I believe they're expected, like you see, a negative 11.3% growth. So maybe if they can come out with, you know, better than that growth and better earnings than expected, that could be really good for the stock if their earnings came out even better than they're expected. Even though it's not going to be growth, like they're not going to be positive, at least be better than expected, and that would be really good for the market. Again, we know Google's going to be good. Tomorrow, I want to make sure I don't run over this too quick and I get everything on here. But pretty much all I see is mortgage, 30-year mortgage, gasoline, crude oil stocks change, heating oil, refinery crude oil change. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anything on that. 20-year bond auction. Yeah, again, I'm sorry for that, guys, yesterday because, I try to give you guys information and just be myself and show you guys my information, what I'm looking at for the day, what is coming out for the day. And that was on me for not telling you guys Fed Chair Powell was speaking at 7:30. It didn't really do too much, but just felt like it was on me because he did talk, and he was talking throughout the market a little bit, about probably 30 minutes to an hour into the market as well. But that's pretty much it. All right, I love every single one of y'all sticking with me journey. Again, we're trying to keep up. We're trying to keep these going. It was hard today. I lost over $300. Lost $400 in the trade. So it is hard sometimes to show up like this whenever you lose $400 in one trade. But again, I'm so confident in my skills. I'm so confident in the strategy. I'm so confident in what is to come. And I hope you guys can see that I do know what I'm doing. It's just taking a while to get there, all right? All in God's plan, all right? I love every single one of y'all sticking with me journey. Remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate. Make sure I get paid, all right? Peace.